I'll read them. So, the Town of East Greenwich notice of special meeting. The Town Board of the Town of East Greenwich has scheduled a special meeting for Tuesday, December 27th, 2011 at 5 o'clock p.m. which Town Hall regarding Witbeck subdivision PDD and personnel matters. By order of the Town Board,
Phil, 185-20 amendment.
Seeker determination for Witbeck Plan Development District. Whereas the Town of East Greenwich received an application for the site plan review of Witbeck Plan Development District, tax map parcel 166-7-26.111, prepared by Hart Engineering, and whereas the application was submitted to the town in a manner consistent with section 2.9 PPD, comprehensive zoning law, town DG, the others, the E4 and the other supporting information. The town determined that seeker was fine, whereas the town also prepared and circulated a lead agency coordination letter requesting consent of all involved agencies, and the town was lead agency on the seeker. All the involved agency consented to such designation pursuant to 6 Code of Rules Regulations, section 617.6, Town of East Greenwich, Town Board is the lead agency for seeker. Whereas the Town Board is lead agency is reviewed, fully considered project. And whereas the Town Planning Board, Town Engineer, project review team took a hard look. They considered everything that was involved with the project, from stormwater treatment, traffic. Whereas the Town Board has taken a hard look at the potential impacts of the project and carefully considered everything through several public hearings that we had on the issue. The town has determined that the proposed action will not result in any large or significant impacts, any potential impacts that can be mitigated. Now therefore be it resolved that based on the reasons supporting this determination, discussion of the attached seeker, notice determination of non-significance, the town hereby finds that the project will not have significant impact on the environment. Authorize the filing of negative declaration of the project. The foregoing resolution is moved by myself and second, please.
I'll second, Phil.
Thank you, Rick.
Councilperson Malone.
Yes.
Supervisor McCabe.
Yes.
Councilperson Madden.
I'd like to just explain my vote on this project this afternoon. I'm going to make this as quick as I can for the benefit of my colleagues. I've been in the process of strongly considering a vote of support for this PDD local law because there are a number of positive aspects about the development, and it's for this reason I'm not going to vote no. However, I'm unable to fully support it at this time because there is key supporting information, in my view, missing related to the value of what's being granted to the PDD applicant by the town versus the value of what's being granted to the town by the PDD applicant. This issue is relative to the public benefit section, number 17 of the proposed law. Without such key information, which would derive from a real property appraisal, there is no objective way, in my view, to evaluate whether the town is being properly compensated for the premium spot zoning proposed by the applicant. Had this information been available, I may have been in a position to support the project either as proposed or as amended. I want to make clear that this is really a procedural situation for the town. This has no bearing on the applicant. Hart Engineering did a great job of preparing this proposal, and I met with the project consultant on one occasion for quite a while to review this. So again, this is procedural on the town's end, and my feeling is that the town should consider obtaining this kind of information at the applicant's expense, because I believe it's appropriate under the circumstances, as long as it's applied fairly for prospective and future PDD applicants as part of the PDD application process. So I will, for this vote this evening, I'll be abstaining. Thank you.
Sure. So do you support the project, yes or no, as proposed tonight? I mean, I think to have an extension, I think we'd all have to agree that there would have to be some sort of conflict of interest for you to abstain. I mean, there's two votes, yes or no, unless you can demonstrate a conflict of interest. So I mean,
I've abstained from other projects in the past, Phil, not based upon that criterion, but on whether I felt that I wasn't in a position to basically give an up or a down vote on a project. If I felt there was information missing, I've done that in the past. I did it for Temple Farm in the past because, of course, I was only on the board for about a week, I think, when that project came before the board.
now, did you ask for this information or seek it before you voted for this? Or,
Well,
I mean,
there really wasn't.
I abstained, so.
Well, I did discuss it with the planning department, and quite frankly, it was, I raised it maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. There wouldn't have been time, quite frankly, to obtain, it takes about 45 to 60 days to have an appraisal like this procured, and there would have been some additional setback, I think, for the project applicant, you know, in terms of getting this approved tonight. So it wouldn't have been apropos. Had I raised it, you know, 2 months ago, it wouldn't have been workable for tonight to have the information available, considered, and considered by the rest of the board, of course.
But I guess my real question is, do you understand abstentions to mean that you can just not vote on things, or what's your interpretation of abstentions? My interpretation of abstentions is a direct conflict, personally, financially. It's either a yes or no vote, not I abstain. You have to take a stance. I mean, we all sit up here. I mean,
no, I understand.
Lots of times you have difficult decisions. It's often the choice between two bad options, but we have to make a choice. I mean, here we have people that have been before the board 2, 3, 4, 6 times now, presented everything. I've never heard this brought up before. Now when it comes time to make a choice on this decision, on this project, on this law, you're abstaining on the law.
Well, I'm not prepared to vote no, because again, as I said before, I don't believe it necessarily to be a bad project. It's just that I don't have what I need to.
But is your understanding of the abstention law that you can just abstain when you can't show a direct conflict of interest, that you can use abstentions to not vote anyway? Really? I mean, now,
I consider it.
I mean, I want to understand the procedural aspect.
Why don't you ask the attorney?
I'll just address that by saying, I think it's my
Let's
legislative.
just discuss this at another date. I think we're just semantics and
No, you're right. I'm just going to say,
I think we get two votes. We get 2 ways of voting, yes or no.
I consider it my legislative prerogative to interpret abstention. You know, it's slightly different than
A little more broadly, I would think.
Well, you're right. No,
Yeah,
arguably, but
you don't own this project. You don't have a vested interest in the project. You're using abstentions.
Guys, Mr. McCarty, like to.
so I appreciate your comments.
Just one, Rick, you mentioned spot zoning, and I don't think that that's an applicable term here. This is not spot zoning. Spot zoning is illegal. I reviewed this at length, both with Mr. Hart and with the applicant's attorney, and this is not spot zoning. This is PDD zoning. I just wanted to let you know on that characterization.
No, I appreciate that, Claire. I think I was using it more as a way of describing the fact that this is obviously a special zoning consideration for a very specifically defined piece of property, and
Correct.
so I apologize for the misuse of that term.
I just wanted the board to be aware.
Sure.
We're not spot zoning.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks, Joe.
186-21.
No. Councilperson Matters?
Abstain.
Councilperson O'Brien?
This is on the seeker, yes.
Yes. Sorry. Councilman Manuel?
That's right.
Resolution 186, 2011. Resolution enacting local law number 5 of 2011, creating the Witbeck Plan Development District. Whereas on or about the town of East Greenbush, I think there's a date missing here, on or about the town of East Greenbush Town Board received an application from George Witbeck, an Robert Witbeck, the applicant, seeking a zoning amendment from an RD, a residential buffer, to a planned development district, PDD, for Witbeck PDD, the project. And whereas the project will be situated on plus or minus 39 acres located on tax parcel number 166.7-6-.111, the site. And whereas pursuant to the Town of East Greenwich zoning law, the town board referred the application to the planning board for review and recommendation. And on October 26, 2011, the planning board reported its recommendation to the town board, recommending approval of the PDD and finding, among other things, that one, that the project as a whole and uses proposed will add to the assets of the community and will advance the goals of the town. That the density and scale of the project are compatible as appropriate with the current and planned community character of the neighborhood. That the increase in density from the underlying zoning is commensurate with the overall benefit to the community. That the project, this is number 4, that the project resides within the town's GEIS study area and is in general conformance with the secret statement of findings and will be subject to the fees associated with the GEIS study area. Notwithstanding, the project remains subject to site-specific secret evaluations and declarations of significance. Whereas the town board conducted a public meeting on December 14, 2011 to consider the PDD application, and whereas pursuant to the New York State Environmental Conservation Law and its implementing regulations, the town board acting as secret lead agency for the project for the coordinated review of the project, considered numerous expert environmental reports, documentation, advice from the town consultants, interested and involved agencies, and the public. And whereas after taking a thorough and hard look at the potential environmental impacts of this project by carefully considering them and thoroughly evaluating their potential significance, the town board determined, among other things, that the action would not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts and issued a secret negative declaration. Now therefore be it resolved that the East Greenwich Town Board, after due deliberation pursuant to section 298A of the Comprehensive Zoning Law, finds and determines based on the entire record before the town board as follows: that the project as a whole and uses proposed will add to the assets of the community and will advance the goals of the town. That the density and scale of the project and the overall site, architectural and landscape plans are compatible as appropriate with the current and planned community character of the neighborhood. That any increase in density from the underlying zoning is commensurate with the overall benefit to the community. That the state environmental quality review seeker requirements have been met. Now therefore be it enacted that the Town of East Greenwich Comprehensive Zoning Law and map are hereby amended and site tax map numbers 166.7-6.111 is hereby rezoned to the planned development district as more fully set forth in the local law number 1. Is that right? Local number 1? 2011? Okay. As attached hereto as attachment 1. I moved the resolution. Do I have a second?
Councilperson O'Brien?
I'm going to vote in favor of this, and my reasons for doing so are pretty much summed up in what the planning board recommendations to us as a town board were. Just to highlight a few of them, that the project as a whole and the uses proposed will add to the assets of the community and will advance the goals of the town. That the density and scale of the project are compatible as appropriate with current and planned community character in that particular neighborhood. That the increase in density from the underlying zoning is commensurate with the overall benefit to the community. In addition, the applicant has been before us as a board at our pre-board, at public meetings, and I think that you've answered and responded to all of the questions that were raised by both the public, the planning board, the town board, in a way that I'm absolutely satisfied with. We know that the maximum number of units there will be 100, and that's spread over about 40 acres of land. I like the community benefit that will ensue from this, and I appreciate the effort that you all have put in, and I do believe that will add to our community. I don't see negative impacts to either police coverage or the school district, because I think that most of the units there, kind of going on my own background in real estate, will probably be with people without children attending these Greenwood schools. I mean, there may be some, there's no prohibitions on that. But I'm concerned about impacts to school district, and I don't believe that this project will increase that either. So for all those reasons and for the benefits that will come to the town as a result of this project, I'm very happy to support it. Thank you.
Have a second.
I'll second it.
Councilperson O'Brien.
Oh, yes.
Supervisor McCabe.
Yes.
Councilperson Batters.
Abstain.
Councilperson Malone.
Yes.
And Mayor Moser.
With that being done, I make a motion that we go into executive session. Do we have a second? Second.
This will be discussed on personnel matters.
Excuse me, Supervisor McCabe.
Yes.
Councilperson Batters. Councilperson O'Brien.
Yes.
Councilperson Malone.
Yes.
Mr. Supervisor, you just clarified the local law number of the local law you just passed, that's fine?
It is fine. It's fine.
Sorry.
Did I?
We put that
Did you-
on.
We don't, that is five, you said five.
Okay.
This is what the
Yeah, we have
Like
that.
Pretty good. Yeah. Oh, well.